Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 13th, 2020. And today for our circle time, we're going to read a story, and then we're going to do another photo activity card of a shape, and today's shape is a rectangle. And then we're going to do a craft. Well, you guys are going to do a craft. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and it's called What I Like Craft. And then we're going to continue with our beginning sounds. Today we're going to do letters N, E, A, and I. And then you'll do a journal entry of your favorite season. All right? So let's start with our story for today. And our story today is called Clifford's Good Deeds. And remember, our title is at the top. In this book, the author is also at the top of the book. And what do you think, looking at this picture, what it means to do a good deed? You can see someone trying to reach their cat. And what is Clifford doing to help them? Because he's so big. You're right, he's pushing down the branch so this lady can grab her kitten. So I think maybe a good deed is doing something nice or good to help somebody in need. Hello, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is my dog Clifford. Clifford is so big next to Emily Elizabeth. A boy named Tim lives across the street. One day Tim said, "I try to do a good deed every day. If I had Clifford, I could help a lot of people." I said, "Let's do some good deeds together." A man was raking leaves. Tim gave him a hand. Then he helped put the leaves in his truck. I didn't know that dry leaves I didn't know that dry leaves could make Clifford sneeze. Achoo! The man said he didn't need any more help. We went down the street. You guys see what happened when Clifford sneezed? What happened to all those leaves? You're right, they blew all out of the tree and made a big mess all over again. We saw a lady painting her fence. We helped her paint. When we finished, she said thank you. Clifford felt so happy that he wagged his tail. That was a mistake. White paint splattered all over her house. We said we would paint the rest of her house too. The lady said, "Never mind." And you guys can see that picture before we do the next good deed. Then we saw an old lady trying to get her kitten down from a tree. Tim said, "Clifford, get the kitten." Clifford bent the tree limb down so the lady could reach her kitten. But his paw slipped. Uh-oh. You guys see what happened to the kitten? It got flung all the way in the air. And here goes Clifford. He's running so fast. You guys think he'll catch the kitten in time? Whew, he did. Clifford moves pretty fast for a big dog. The lady was glad to get her kitten back. It didn't take us long to find our next good deed to do. Somebody had let the air out of the tires of a car. The man asked if we could help him. Tim took a rubber tube out of the car and stuck it in the tire valve. Then he told Clifford to blow air through the tube. Look how much bigger Clifford is than the people in the car. He's a giant dog. Clifford blew, but he blew a little too hard. The man felt better when we took his car to the garage. You guys see what Clifford's doing? Because the man couldn't drive because he had a flat tire. So Clifford decided to carry him in his mouth. And Emily Elizabeth and Tim, her friend, are riding Clifford like a horse. We saw a small paper boy. He was so small that he couldn't throw the newspapers to the doorstep. Clifford gave him a pow. Clifford was a little too strong. Nothing seemed to go right for us. All our good deeds were turning out wrong. See, he threw the newspaper and it crushed right into the window and broke the glass. Clifford's trying to be helpful, but he's making more mistakes. Then we saw a terrible thing. A man was hurt and lying in the street, and nobody was helping him. Tim said, "You should never move an injured person." But Clifford didn't hear him. He picked the man up. We started off to find a doctor. Oh dear. You guys see what's happening? Clifford picked up the man, but he's holding onto a rope. So if you look back here, the man is looking in a hole. And I think he was helping doing some work underground, and they mistaked him for someone who was hurt. We helped the men get out their cable back down the manhole. Tim said, "Clifford, maybe you shouldn't help me anymore." Clifford felt so sad. He had tried so hard to do the right things. We headed for home. Suddenly, we heard someone shouting, "Help! Fire!" The house on the corner was on fire. Tim ran to the alarm box to call the fire department. Clifford ran to the burning house, but there were 2 little kids upstairs. With Clifford's help, we got them out safely. Good thing Clifford's a big dog, or I don't think they could have waited for the fire truck to get there with the tall ladder. Luckily, there was a swimming pool in the yard. What do you guys think Clifford's going to do with the water? If you look at the pages, it'll give you a hint. You're right, he puts all the water in his mouth, and then he blows it out to put the fire out. Clifford put the fire out just as the firemen were arriving. The fireman finished the job and thanked us for our help. That afternoon, the mayor gave each of us a medal for our good deeds. That's so nice. Just like when you guys are so kind to your friends at school, you sometimes get stickers, and that's a reward for being such a good friend. And many times you're doing lots of good deeds while you're at school. Of course, Clifford got the biggest medal of all, and it says hero on his collar. The end. Next, we are going to look at our photo activity card, just like yesterday. But today's photo activity card is of rectangles. So I want everybody to pause your video, and I want you to go find 5 rectangles in your house, and then come back so we can look at them together. Welcome back. I hope everyone was able to find some rectangles in their house. Let's look at the picture. What are the girls doing at their house? You guys see what they have? Yeah, they have some dogs, and they're playing doghouse with the animals. Maybe the dogs are really acting as people, just like you guys do with the kitchen. They're just doing pretend play with the doghouse. How many rectangles do you think we can find in this picture? Let's look close. So I see a rectangle on the door, and I see a rectangle on the pillow, and I see a rectangle on the blanket. Can you guys find another rectangle? Good job. There's another one right here. And then if you look closely at the ladder, what shape do the holes in this ladder make? Do they make triangle shapes? Nope. They make rectangle shapes. Good job. How many things in buildings and homes are in rectangles? So right now, I want you guys to go pause the video, and I want you to go on a scavenger hunt around your house to find different rectangles. And I'll give you a hint. Look at your windows and look at your doors. And I want you to count how many rectangles you can find in your house, and then come back and we can talk about it. Now, let's make a list of the things that you found at your house that were rectangles. So a couple of them that I told you were doors, and maybe you have a couple doors in your house. And another one is the windows at your house, and there's probably a lot of windows in your house. And then sometimes people have bricks. Your house is made of bricks. So all those bricks on your house are made of rectangles. And I won't make you count those because that's a lot of counting. Next are boards. Some people's house have boards outside their house, and those are in the shape of a rectangle. Now, when we come back to school, we're going to take a walk around the school, or you can do it before you get to school, and you can see how many rectangles you can find at school, and if there was more rectangles at home, or if there was more rectangles at school. Very good, friends. And then I'm going to show you how to make a rectangle, just like we did with the triangle, so we can count how many shapes. So when you make a rectangle, it has 4 sides, and 2 of the sides are long and 2 of the sides are short. So your line on the top is a long line, and then your line at the bottom is also a long line. See, and they match. Remember when we do that with our shaped legs, we always have trouble finding the 2 long lines, and they're always the same. And then on our side, we have 2 short sides, just like that. And are this side and this side the same length, or is one smaller? You're right. The top line is always long, and the bottom line is always long. And then the 2 sides are always the shortest. So let's take a second and let's count. And we can write our numbers too to practice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 sides. And now I want you guys to look at your rectangle, and I want you to count how many points are on your rectangle. Did you guys finish counting? Good job. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shapes on a rectangle. Great job, guys. All right. Next, let's get back to our beginning sounds. And remember, beginning sounds are the first letter in a word. So our first letter is the letter N. Can you guys all think of a word that begins with the letter N? I think that's a good one. Let's use the word nut. Nut is like a peanut. And you guys can write down the word, or you can just copy along with me. So here is our word nut. And nut is spelled N-U-T. And let's put our box around our beginning sound. Our beginning sound is always at the front. Nut begins with the letter N. It makes a n sound. Can you guys practice doing that by yourself? Good job. Nut. Our next letter is the letter E. E is for elephant. And this is a long word. Here is our word elephant. Elephant is spelled E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T. And do you guys remember where our beginning letter is? Good job. It's at the very front of the line. And our beginning letter is the letter E. And E makes the sound I for elephant. Can you guys practice saying the letter E sound? I, elephant. Nice work. Our next letter is the letter A. Can everybody think of a word that begins with the letter A? Right. The letter A is for apple. And this is how you spell the word apple. Apple is spelled A-P-P-L-E. And let's all take a second and draw a box around our beginning letter. There we go. And what is our beginning letter in the word apple? Very good. It's the letter A. And A makes that ah sound. Everyone take a turn and say the letter A sound. Ah for apple. Very nice. Our next and last letter for today is I. What is some of your guys' favorite food that begins with the letter I? You eat it over the summer and it's really cold in your mouth. You're right, it's ice cream. So I'm going to write that word. That's another kind of long word too. And here is our word ice cream. And ice cream is spelled I-C-E-C-R-E-A-M. Ice cream. So let's take our marker and put a box around our beginning sound. Our beginning sound letter is the letter I for ice cream. And I makes the I sound. Or sometimes it makes the I sound and just goes I, like an ice cream. Very good, friends. And remember, if you had a little trouble, you can rewind and practice saying our letter sound of the day for our beginning letters. Next, we are going to do our craft. In our craft today, you need to have some scissors and a magazine and glue and a piece of paper. And since we are learning all about ourselves and taking an adventure to learn what we like, you guys are going to use a magazine. If you don't have a magazine, you can use markers and paper and you can draw. And you're going to either cut out or you're going to draw all the things that you like. So it's all about you and only the things you like. Don't pick out things you don't like. Only the things you do like. So for Miss Candice, I would pick out water because I love to go to the pool and go to the beach. I would pick out lemonade because I like to drink lemonade, and I like animals. So if I see some animals in a magazine, I would cut those animals out. I like to watch TV. So if I find a TV, I would cut a TV out. I like to read. So I would look for some pictures of a book. And I want you guys to cut all these items out, or you can draw them. And that is your craft for today. And you're going to put that on a piece of paper. And then lastly, our journal entry today is our favorite season. And do you guys remember our seasons? We have the season winter, when it's snowing outside and it's really, really cold. And then we have spring, and that's what the season we're in right now. And sometimes it's cold and sometimes it's warm. And spring's a little confusing, but spring is when all the plants start to grow and the flowers are coming out and the leaves are coming on the trees. And then we have summer, and summer is when it's hot outside and you go to the beach and you go to the pool and you eat ice cream. And then your last season is fall, and fall is when all the leaves on the trees are falling. And sometimes you'll see the pretty colors on the trees before they fall. You'll see orange leaves and red leaves. And in the fall, there's Halloween, and there's Thanksgiving, and there's lots of holidays in the fall. So on your paper, I want you to write this. You're going to copy. Make sure you pause the video. It's going to say, my favorite season is. And do you guys remember right before we were not coming to school, we learned that the spaces like this one and this space are called spaces in the word. So they're not all squished together. And do you guys remember what we used to put these spaces here? You're right, you use your finger. So remember, point your finger and you're going to hold it just like this. So it'll look like that after you write the letter Y. So you have a space in between. And then you'll do the same thing down here. After the letter N, put the space in between your I and your N, so it's not so close together. So on your paper, it should say, my favorite season is, and my favorite season is summer because my birthday's in the summer, is in August. And I also love to go to the beach and go to the pool, and it's nice and warm outside. So I want you guys to take a second to write this down, and Mommy and Daddy can help you write your favorite season. And then I want you to use your favorite colors and make a beautiful picture of what you like to do in your favorite season. I hope you guys had so much fun at Circle Time, and I miss seeing your faces. It's so much more fun to do this with you at school than on the computer. I hope I will get to see everybody soon, and I'll see you again tomorrow for our Circle Time in the morning. Have a good evening, and be good listeners for Mommy and Daddy. Bye-bye.